Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm really excited about providing this update. It's been a couple of years since we've been at CEN CAN, and there has been an incredible amount of work done over the course of those couple of years. You guys are all familiar with the disclaimers and forward-looking statements, so I won't bore anybody with that. Today I wanted to talk about the progress we've made on bringing the vertically integrated Pak Lithium project into production. Before I get started, I think it's important to recognize some of the reasons why this project must go ahead. We talk about geopolitical uncertainty. It was mentioned by Priya, it was mentioned by Minister Lecce a couple of minutes ago in his address. That geopolitical instability is an important precursor to what we're doing here. We need to be successful in the critical minerals industry right out of the gates. We are key to the global energy transition. So when we talk about lithium production, it's an important component to decarbonization. We've heard a lot of talk about decarbonization over the last several months. Decarbonization has been embraced by industry, and it will go ahead over the next several years. We talk about strategic, provincial, and national alignment. This project supports provincial national goals with regards to electric vehicles, energy independence, and sustainable development. And then economic and community growth. We're a proud Sudbury-headquartered company, and we believe in the importance of using our project as a vehicle to contribute to not only local communities, the province, and of course nationally. And this of course includes Indigenous communities, whether they be up the mine site or they be proximal to the Thunder Bay area here. So what I wanted to do today is give you an understanding of our project and that vertical integration that we spoke about. You can see from the map that you have up in front of you that the mine mill will be located in Pakegama Lake, that's northwestern Ontario, OG Cree territory, and that's about 170, 180 kilometers north of Red Lake. The goal to the vertically integrated project is to take the concentrate from the northwest down to Thunder Bay, where it will be processed in a conversion facility. One of the unique things about this project is that the size of the project, the quality of the project, we have the ability to self-sustain a conversion facility. And there's nobody else right now in the province that can claim that. So that's really fundamental to our success as we move forward. I think it's also important to talk about the partnership that we've taken on. Last year, we partnered with Mitsubishi Corporation. They own 7.5% of the project, which is inclusive of the mine mill and also the conversion facility. We spent approximately 2 years vetting our partnership to make sure we had strong alignment with the organization. So we're very proud to bring them with us on this ride. So I first want to talk about the deposit and the resource in the northwest. If you look at the photograph, you can see where the deposits lie. The key deposits that we have right now are the Pak Lithium deposit, that's close to Pakegama Lake at the top of the screen, and the Spark deposit. Those two deposits make up the resource foundation for the definitive feasibility study and the mine going forward. In the middle, we've got the Bolt pegmatite, and farther along, approximately 1 kilometer to the west, we have a new discovery there called the Ember pegmatite. So all of these key deposits are within approximately a 3-kilometer radius. So that allows us to make things like the footprint of the mine very, very small, again, reflecting sustainability that we hold as a value. The deposits are extremely high grade, amongst the highest in North America, and we have very low strip ratio, so very low impurities in the ore body. Our strip ratio is running 3.7 to 1, so very, very cost effective with regards to production. With regards to opportunities for growth, not only do we have the two discoveries there, Bolt and Ember, but the deposits, Pak and Spark, are open, subsurface, and along trend. So as mentioned, one of the key areas, one of the areas of progress that we have made is the release of the definitive feasibility study for the mine and mill in the Northwest. Right now we have a $932 million net present value, discounted at 8%. $285 million in average annual earnings is what's expected from the mine. And we have a 31-year mine life at 200,000 tons a year of 6% spodumene concentrate with what is key, very, very low cost, $624 a ton. That puts us in the first quartile of costs amongst our peers, not dissimilar to Greenbushes in Australia. So really, really exciting for us. I think one of the key things, as I mentioned before, is really the opportunity for mine life to grow. The definitive feasibility study represents approximately 50% of the deposit. So the reality here is mine life could be in the neighborhood of 80, 100 years potentially. Just going back to my previous slide, so following the feasibility study, I think it's important to say that we're in the process right now of permitting and consultation. That started on the mine and mill. We anticipate that's going to take approximately 18 months. And we're working very hard on an all-season road into the north part of the area. Just finished the ESR on that, and we're working on the engagement to move that through and bring on input as to options and road alignments. So the exciting part for Thunder Bay is the lithium conversion facility. And just quick overviews on that. We worked very hard over the last couple of years on really understanding where we want to put a lithium conversion facility. And one of our focus areas for all of the reasons that have been stated before me, infrastructure, ability to find heavy industrial land, educated workforces. We looked at Thunder Bay, and I'm happy to say that we chose Thunder Bay as the place for our lithium conversion facility. We see a ton of promise in this community. This community has opened its arms to us, whether it be mayor, whether it be chief, Fort Williams, good conversations, friendly people. Folks are embracing this, and we're appreciative of that. I was even out on Mission Island a couple of days ago, meeting with local residents, and just extremely positive interactions. I don't think there's a person that lives in Thunder Bay or its area that doesn't promote this area like the folks at CEDC do. It's fantastic. The other major piece of news we have is government announced support. And if those of you that are following recall, that announcement was made in March 25, and that is that the Government of Canada and the province of Ontario signed letters of intent for financial support for the conversion facility. So really good news there. And then project advancements, Frontier announced the start of a feasibility study in July 25. So we're looking for good things as all of these conversations progress and as we move this forward. Some highlights of the facility and the community impact. As some of you are aware, we purchased 183 acres, the Mission Island site. It's the former coal-fired electricity site. and realize it's a great opportunity to revitalize a heavy industrial site. It has many of the things that we need in terms of infrastructure, and so really looking forward to maximizing the use of that portion of Mission Island. Lithium production capacity. The facility is projected to produce 20,000 tons of lithium salts, and that should power approximately 500,000 vehicles. So as you can imagine, there is an environmental benefit to that, and that is the displacement of 2.06 million 2.06 million tons of CO2 carbon emissions, which should support cleaner transportation. So the theory being is if you offset 500,000 vehicles, you no longer need 500,000 internal combustion engine vehicles to drive the roads. And then, of course, a key impact will be job creation. The project will create over 500,000 construction jobs and will have over 200 plus permanent operational roles, boosting local employment. These are not just any jobs, these are family supporting jobs. As mentioned by Priya, the president of the OMA earlier, salaries for these types of jobs, salaries in the mining sector generally, are twice the average. So that's really good news, I think, for the community. Provides a lot of opportunity. One of the key things we did before advancing this project, and one of the key things that I did when I started with Frontier Lithium 5 years ago, is I commissioned a life cycle analysis of our entire process. So what does that mean? That means that they study things like GHG emissions, water usage, really from the mine in the north down to the conversion facility in the south. And instead of walking through and doing sustainability reporting right from the get-go, we held off and we used this opportunity to understand where the hotspots were, where potential environmental challenges are, both with our mine mill and with our processing facility, so that we could engineer those out as we move along. So what are some of those things that we're looking at? Well, we've got a zero liquid discharge system. The facility uses this system to prevent any effluent release into the environment, enhancing ecological protection. That's a pretty timely point, I think, considering what's gone on, some of the news articles of a release that happened locally a couple of weeks ago. So that's going to be really key for us. Resource recycling. We're looking at recycling water. We're looking at recycling reagents and byproducts such as sodium sulfate, and really trying to promote efficient use of water and minimize the resource use and waste. It's really a no-brainer from our perspective. It's the right thing to do, and we're hoping as well there's an economic benefit to doing that. And then clean energy usage. One of the reasons we liked Thunder Bay and we liked Ontario was because of Ontario's clean energy grid. So hooking up to that grid and switching over some of our technologies to electricity could really lower GHG emissions, which will have positive impacts on the community at large. So what is the project status? As I mentioned, we've just started work on the feasibility study. It has been awarded to Fluor, who's a leading engineering and construction firm. And they've built these types of plants all over the world. So we're working with them to really understand engineering design, the infrastructure planning side, cost estimations, and the environmental assessment. So that's an extremely positive step forward for us as a company, particularly given the DFS for the mine mill was just recently completed. And then, of course, community engagement and permitting. A key part of that is going to be dependent on the feasibility study. Before you permit something, you first have to know what that looks like. And so, as I said, we're trying to engineer out a lot of those potential impacts that we see. And shortly thereafter, we'll be going through the permitting processes where we will do engagement and consultation with the Thunder Bay community and with the Indigenous communities nearby. And one of the key things for a company like ours, of course, when you're looking at large CapExes is your ability to raise money. We talked about March 25, finalizing the government contributions agreements is a key goal that we have here going forward into the early part of 26. So what does our project timeline look like? As you can see from the slides here, we've got the feasibility study on the mine mill side was completed in 25. We've got permitting and funding finalizations. Those are planned for 26, 27. Bridge and road construction, another key component to building and shipping concentrate, is being worked on as we speak. And that will be done in cooperation with government and Indigenous communities in the region. On the conversion facility side, we've got the site acquisition that we spoke about. We've got the start of the definitive feasibility study or the feasibility study phase for that. And then we anticipate going into permitting and funding phases shortly thereafter and into 27. Final investment decision for both projects will be in 28, and then construction for the project will begin in 28 with commissioning in 2030. So with that, that is the overview to provide that I wanted to provide you with today. This all helps us really advance the vision we have, and that is to continue the vertically integrated lithium project, filling in key gaps in the critical minerals supply chain, something that is so important to communities like Thunder Bay, to the province, and to the nation, and to the automotive sector at large. This is important, and it's important to get right. So that's what we are trying to do. Obviously, the company is very focused on sustainability and community collaboration. Lots of conversations ongoing. We will continue to have those conversations and try and be as transparent as we can as we move forward and move together in partnership. We strongly believe that projects cannot be successful unless you have and generate these codependent relationships. And what we see as codependent relationships, we see Indigenous communities, we see governments, and we see industry. And so it's the working together that you have good outcomes, and that's what we're seeking here as a company. And then, of course, government alignment is key, working with the municipality, the province, and federal governments to ensure strategic alignment and cooperation to enable the project and to enable successful critical minerals supply chain advancement.